Hello and welcome to round one with Red Green Titan Breach. Uh, this hand is okay on the play, not super exciting. I may be overvaluing Lightning Bolt in terms of interaction here. Um, the fact that the Titan's pretty slow, but there's a lot of accelerants. My thing with this deck is like a lot of your hands just do things, and it's kind of hard to mulligan because you need a critical mass of lands and stuff. And as long as your hand has like some decent flow to it, I feel like you want to keep, and you kind of just lose some games with it when they don't pan out. I would like to lead on Valakut here, I think. I guess I could punish if I draw. I'm going to lead on Foothills. So the reason for this, I wanted to leave on, usually your instinct is to lead on the always tapped land. But the reason I'm leading on Foothills is that if my opponent plays like a Birds of Paradise or a Goblin Guide, I really want to shock it. Okay, Jund. This hand's pretty good against Jund, because against Jund you're mostly just playing off the top. So I get a tap land anyways, the Stomping Ground. But if my opponent had a bird, I'd want to immediately shock it, or bolt it. So this is a fine start here. And if I didn't immediately bolt it, I could potentially draw a 2-drop Accelerant and then end up in a... Oh, did I just F6 through that turn? Thought I had F4'd. Oh well. Fortunately, we have so much mana that it doesn't matter. Bolting the Bob immediately. You just can't let your Jund opponent have cards like that. This hand, Liliana, is very good against. Sadly, we don't have the full-on punish. I think I would like to discard the land. I don't think I can... I guess Scapeshift is pretty bad. Yeah, I'm okay. I don't want to have a Scapeshift in my hand against Liliana. It's a pretty solid draw. I'm going to use this Mire as discard fodder here, because it's not an actual mountain, and the number of actual mountains that we have is pretty important here. That's fine. Also fine. We're going to get Liliana minus next turn, but I think that's okay. So if I get Valakut Mountain, our opponent's 2 lands away from dead. If I get Valakut, there's still... counting our search in hand. Pretty sure I'm just supposed to get Valakut Mountain, because or Valakut Stomping Ground specifically, because it sets up the best for, yeah. Like, if we need to flex and do something... Very specifically, the thing I'm talking about is if we need to flex and shoot down creatures, this gives us the most immediate access to that. No! That's not nice. Well, there goes 1 land. We're not dead quite yet, right? Oh, no, we are dead quite yet. So this has to go Bob and face so that we have another turn. No need to redirect. What can we draw next turn? Is Titan even enough? Titan's only 12. I think we're just dead. Yeah, unfortunate. I guess Titan could gun down all of my opponent's creatures. Mountain is definitely not enough. So sideboarding, we want these two cards, just the value cards. And the cards we do not want are... I've kept an Anger, but I don't like it here. I like it against Abzan, just as a way to clear like Lingering Souls if that's what's beating you down. So I usually take out a Bolt against them. At the same time, they're all moving towards Flares. I guess you can KO like 2 Flares with it too. So it's not the worst. None of the other sideboard cards are really doing anything here. Engineered Explosives is very good against the Grimflayer Abzan decks. I'm not huge on it here against the Tarmogoyfs. I think Lightning Bolt to kill Dark Confidant's a little more important. It also goes to the face and like softens things up a little bit. But this is like the next most reasonable card. I like the Simian Sphere guys here because I still want a turbo. I like the Emrakul. I have up threats. I like Courser here. I like all the ramps. So the only thing I'd consider is like a Bolt versus E, and I think just having that clean cut kill for Dark Confidant early is more important. I would like to play first. His hand is fine, but not great. Sequencing is we're going to play... I think I want to hold the Valakut. Just like general Game 2 sensibilities, you don't expose your Valakuts unless you have to. So I'm going to go Cinderglade into Sakura Tribe Elder, I think. We'll see what happens. Well, I'm just going to play whichever one doesn't get Inquisitioned. Interesting. One, two, three. Trying to figure out if I want forest or mountain here. There's an argument for leaving mountains in my deck due to Scape Shift. I think I want one of each. I can change my mind later if my opponent like thoughts uses my Scape Shift. So one thing that is worth noting with this deck is right now I'm not going to sacrifice my Elder. I don't really want to turbo into a 4-drop here. I actually just want to get the 1 damage in. That's a pretty acceptable draw. I don't really like extending this Valakut here. Is that better? I don't think it is significantly better if I rip a Titan next turn. So this is a spot where I'm going to get my damage in, and I think I'm supposed to now use the Sack Elder here, because if I just draw a hit for Through the Breach, my opponent dies. Nice Inquisitions. Yeah, there's like a very small window where they're very good. Yeah, I'm okay getting a mountain. I don't think I need that many triggers to kill my opponent here. Okay, and as stated, I believe my opponent should be dead here if I did this right. Or at least they're pretty close to it. Especially because I can just Scape Shift relatively soon. I think I want to get 2 Valakuts here. Valakuts. Yeah, that's probably right. Okay, yep. And this is instant death to our opponent for oodles and oodles of damages. They could have had a Terminate here, but they didn't. If they did terminate, we'd have to pay for the pact, and then who knows what happens from there. Yeah, we had with the fifth mountain. I don't. Yeah, we could have gotten a forest on one of those. It's like the key threshold's the fourth when you get two with the Titan trigger, or two mountains. This this hand does nothing. This is not a keeper. The opponent has conveniently mulliganed as well. This hand, on the other hand, is very good. And that is all we want. We just want lands. Is this a turn 3? Opponent's probably going to take the Summoner's Pact. It's our only action. Interesting. Trying to think about how... I don't think I'm... whatever. If I get crumbled this game, I get crumbled. I don't think my hand is conducive to playing around it. So I think I want maximum mountains. Just always going for the Stomping Ground earlier because it's worse to draw than the Cinder Glades later. This Liliana? Well, discard the one that isn't a actual mountain. Pretty sure I just want to do that. There's also like a pretty interesting line where when my opponent pluses, I can opt to pact for Baloth, but I'm not huge on that. Okay. Yeah, let's just play Demise. What did my opponent discard? A Pulse of Marasa? Land. That doesn't do it. Yeah. Getting a Baloth also doesn't do it. I need an untapped land. Okay. I guess I'm still not even dead to Liliana plussing. Or, sorry, Liliana doing the Liliana thing. Ultimating. Nope, we had 2 draw steps to hit an untapped land, right? It's probably Valakut's versus. Which, I guess I just choose the one with more land. It's choose the pile to sacrifice. So I choose 2 Valakuts. Yeah, I did what I could. 2 draw steps for a... Yeah. Okay. That is the thing that happens with these red green decks sometimes. You just get into spots where you have X draw steps and see what happens. You do have to kind of accept your fate at times. I don't think there was anything I could have done to change anything that game because the Tarmogoyf always was protecting Liliana from an obstinate Baloth. And the other option of pacting up like a Courser or an Elder doesn't really get me anywhere. There's no point I could have hit. Yeah. Oh well. Unfortunate breaks. This matchup's pretty 50-50-ish, honestly. You're just like ahead if their draw lines up the wrong way, and they need like their good draws are still close against yours.